thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know, my wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And then you go wish you was just a fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I'll fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And then you go wish you was just a fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back.
Hi, Ms. Barbara.
Hello, I'm going to try to figure out how to put a picture on here.
Okay, I'm going to say hi to the chat. Hi, Grandma, how you doing? Hi, Marianne. Hi, sweet girl. Oh, that's me. Hi, how you doing? Yo, Jimmy, how are you? Okay. This is a very interesting case, you guys. This has to do with an inventor or somebody of a business in Florida. And Grandma's going to read like the first police report, but I'm going to read to you real quick. It's called the treehouse murders, they call it. Okay. And I got the one that's accusing him, the one that got him arrested for this, because there's more than one person, was a guy that was a captain out there. And he said, if I say, Tyrone, will you let me go home? So this man, in my opinion, so far has been, what's the word should I use, Grandma? Set up. That could be it. But it's really interesting because he's representing himself and he's nothing like Daryl Brooks at all. And that's the cover that we trialed today. Okay. This is in Key West. So why do you call it the treehouse murder? The body was found in a treehouse. Lead detective claims his boss coach witnessed and fabricated evidence. There you go. Okay. Let's see. So we're not going to read this because I already got the video. So I'm not going to read the words of that man. I got the interview at the police station. Hi, Miss Barbara.
Hello.
Okay, so let me skim through this. There's a new ripple in the Treehouse murder case. In March 8, 2021, the lead detective claims his boss at the sheriff's office had coached witnesses and used fabricated evidence in a building murder against Franklin Tucker. And that's the man. Okay, November 17th, 2027, two masked men attacked 50-year-old Paul, who lived on the roof of Matthew Bonnet's treehouse in Stock Island. One of them put a knife to her throat and demanded money. She screamed at the top of her lungs. He cut a 7-inch gash in her throat. Oh, I'm not going to go in details. YouTube don't like this. They made a new thing now. His roommate, okay. His roommate is a deserted warehouse. His roommate is a deserted warehouse. Roy Wilson. He said he did it. A woman named April saw him and helped get rid of the bloody clothes the night of the murder. After his arrest, he confessed to his cellmate, Leon Jackson. Jackson said Tucker admitted to have stabbed him 59 times. You guys see what's going on here? He said, she said stuff. He was so shocked by Tucker's apparent lack of remorse that he spontaneously, Grandma, what's that word? Spontaneously, whatever. Reported confession to sheriff's office. Tucker is,
Spontaneously?
huh?
Where are you at?
Right here.
I can't see it because I've got the document open.
Let me look. Spontaneously.
Spontaneously?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I struggle. You guys know that.
All right.
Okay. The problem with that version of the facts is that there are two victims who did survive the assault, Paula and Todd, and they both knew Tucker and both insisted to this day he was not there. I must have told detective probably 10 times that it was not Tucker, said Paula in her September 28, 2020 death. Did she know what Tucker looked like? They were friends. The two had breakfast together 3 or 4 after the incident at McDonald's. So after these alleged things took place, they went to McDonald's. Around the treehouse, people have their own theory of what happened. A feud between two women had caused the death of an innocent man, Matthew. The woman and Paula and Athena both believed that the informant for the sheriff's office, and I got that too, I got the informant's body cam. A number of these people came forward to detectives, including Paula, saying Anithia organized the heist, which turned into murder. The status treehouse itself is somewhat of a mystery. Every member of law enforcement who responded to this murder the night seemed to know that Paula was dealing drugs in her makeshift apartment on a treehouse roof, yet no records of drug tests at the location in the 9-month period that they can find. Some puzzling details. A marked $100 bill was found flopping around the scene that night. An officer is heard saying, "Oh, it's mine." Oh my God. The other one said, "You check your serial number. If it ends in 27, it's mine. 27A." Something like that. The number ended in a 72A. Oh, interesting. On a recording of an open mic at the Detective Bureau, Captain Penny Phillips is heard warning the detectives, "That's the one we're going to watch. I hope Todd can ID him. Jesus Christ, we are all in trouble." Him was Ty Tucker. Philip does not elaborate further of what kind of trouble was lurking over him. Matthew, the lead detectives in the case, was recently deposed by Tucker's attorney. Higgins asked questions about the controlled by gun ban theory and why there was a sheriff's cruiser parked across the street around the time of the murders. Oh my God. We seen that today, Grandma.
I know.
Detective Pitcher denied knowing anything about the drug operation that night. Yeah, right. However, some of Pitcher's responses do not raise question as to the integrity of the investigation and whether an innocent man living in Teotihuacan. What is that? I thought it was Key West. Okay, whatever.
Well, it's probably in the area. I don't know.
So there you have it. Wow. This trial just started yesterday, and I find it very interesting, and I smell corruption, and something's not right. I can't say corruption yet. That judge was very rude to this man. He seemed irritated that he's representing himself. However, he's nothing like Daryl Brooks. He is sounds very intelligent, don't he, Grandma?
He does.
Mhm.
Okay, Grandma's going to read the first police report. And then from there, we'll watch that interview.
Ready?
Ready?
Okay, on 11/17/2017, at approximately 2018 hours, Deputy Moeller was dispatched to the CVS Stock Island in reference to a male in the parking lot saying that 2 people were just stabbed. I arrived at the CVS at 2020 hours and met with a shirtless male later identified as Todd O'Quinn. O'Quinn told me 2 people were stabbed across the street at a house. I asked O'Quinn which house, and he told me the tree house. I know there's a residential property with a large tree house on Laurel Avenue behind CVS. I drove to the front of the property, and O'Quinn met me there on foot. I walked onto the property through an opening in the front wooden fence. O'Quinn told me the victims were in the tree house, and I could hear someone screaming from the top of the treehouse. As I walked up the steps of the treehouse, I could see a male lying face down in the first landing area. The male laying face down was later identified as Matthew Bonnet. Bonnet was not responsive and covered in blood. I continued up the stairs of the treehouse to the top level, where the other individual was screaming for help. Once at the top level of the treehouse, I saw Paula Belmonte holding her neck and screaming that she was stabbed. I was familiar with Paula from previous encounters. I saw a deep cut on the right side of her neck, approximately 4 inches in length. Belmonte had blood on her, primarily her hands and neck. I found a towel on the ground and had Belmonte hold it on her neck and keep pressure. I told Belmonte to sit down and continue to hold pressure on her neck. I went back down to Bonnet and attempted to feel for a pulse or breathing. Hang on, I gotta scoop my page here. Bonnet was not responsive and warm to the touch. I did not feel a pulse, and I did not feel or see Bonnet breathing. I attempted to roll Bonnet onto his back so I could start CPR. I could not roll Bonnet over by myself. Rescue arrived on the scene at 2025 hours. Fire and rescue individual on the scene were Brandon Bertini, Sean Ojeda, Brett Cameron, Larry Blaylock from Section 8. Fire rescue transported Bonnet and Belmonte to Lower Keys Medical Center. They are in the Keys.
Are they?
Yeah. Bonnet
Okay.
was pronounced dead at Lower Keys Medical Center at 21:12 hours. Belmonte was treated for the wound on her neck. While Belmonte was waiting to be transported to the hospital, she told me The suspect was a black male named Detroit, and she did not know his real name. Belmonte stated that there were two suspects wearing masks over their faces. Belmonte told me she was with a friend named Roger Ruggett in the treehouse when she was attacked. Belmonte said Roger was attacked as well, and Belmonte was unsure where Roger went. Belmonte stated that the person who cut her neck took her small pink wallet and her backpack. God, this is crazy.
I know.
Okay, I met Benjamin Hansen on scene in the yard as well. Hansen told me he lived in the trailer on the east side of the property. Hansen told me he had heard a loud commotion, went out of his trailer, and saw an individual running out of the front gate entrance. Hansen stated he then went back in his trailer. Hansen told me that there was another resident of the property named Anathea Clay, also known as April, who he had not seen. I asked O'Quinn and Hansen to stay at the front gate entrance while I searched the remaining buildings on the property. I did not find any additional persons on the property. That's interesting, isn't it? I
Yeah.
secured the bottom of the treehouse stairs with crime scene tape and asked Hansen to step outside of the property with me. I secured the scene until Major Crimes Detective Pitcher arrived on scene. I began a crime scene log at 21:20. Once Detective Pitcher arrived, I stayed on scene to assist with canvassing the area for evidence. I located a $100 bill near the scene and notified Detective Pitcher. Crime scene detective Mitchell from KWPD arrived on, see, that's Key West Police Department, so that confirms that for you. Arrived on scene and began processing at approximately 22:55 hours. This incident was recorded on my BWC, body worn camera. You want me to continue or you want break? Girlfriend.
I'm
Are you
sorry.
there?
I ran out to the kitchen.
All right, you crazy. Do you want me to keep reading though?
No, we're good. Okay. The reason why we're
So
good.
that was really interesting.
Yes.
And that they say no one else was on the property. So they didn't say that Franklin was on the property.
Right. So far, I really do believe this man. Today was day 2 of the trial, and they're not letting him get the word out outwise. However, that female detective, remember the detective that was on the stand today?
Say that again.
The detective that was on the stand today committed
Yeah.
perjury. She committed perjury on the stand.
She did.
Yep. I think this guy, he's like the fall guy because everybody else is afraid.
I think they might, because they also, you got to remember what they said today, because they were talking about a CI, a confidential informant.
Yeah, I got those videos too. Won't it be
So
wonderful to see?
if these guys are dealing with confidential informants and they're using that as a basis for their facts, I found that interesting today too, because I thought, wait a minute, you're basing it on that, on somebody's word that's, if they're a confidential informant, I mean, they're out for themselves.
Well, and then they're his 2 friends, they've been telling them over and over that it wasn't Tucker. What do you think about that, Miss Barbara?
I don't think that's the first time I've heard of a detective lying on the stand.
I was waiting for your comment. Okay.
I mean, it's not the first time I've heard it. I know for a fact it happens.
Right. Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to see the first interview done. And that's the captain of that area, Captain Penny Phillips. Okay, guys, how does that sound? Good?
Yeah.
Here we
Do
go.
your thing, girl.
We're good.
So much more comfortable. Okay, April. First thing you need to know is you're not under arrest. You're not going to jail. That door opens. It's not locked. Like my door, go ahead and open your door. Anytime you want to get out, the door opens and you can get out anytime you want to get out. Anytime you're done talking to me, just say, you know what? I'm done talking to you. And we're done talking. You and I and Rosa are talking woman to woman here. And I just want to let you know that this is because you're free to go and you're not under arrest. So anytime you don't want to talk anymore, all you have to do is say, I don't want to talk anymore. Now I'm going to give you my unofficial name so we can be a little bit more friendly and not so formal. My first name is Penny, and that is Rosa. Rosa's a detective with the sheriff's office, and I'm a captain with the sheriff's office. And we know that you have a warrant out of Dallas, yes, for a little bit of weed, although I was teasing you about selling bad bracelets. We know it was for a little bit of weed. But you knew, and we found out that it's in-state extradition only, so don't ever go back to Texas, because you'll get picked up in Texas, but you're not being picked up here, okay? What I want to talk to you about is what's going on tonight. So you tell me what you think is happening tonight here.
I really don't know. All this is new to me. I've never been through this before. So it's like new to me.
Have you ever been arrested before?
Once,
Once? Was that for the marijuana? And that was the only time?
yes,
Have you ever had the police come with rams and kicking in doors and screaming like they did? A little scary?
yes,
More than a little bit scary?
a lot.
Did you almost think you were going to have the baby tonight?
I was hoping not.
And I understand you're like really 9 months, yes?
Yes,
Pretty darn close. Any day now.
yes,
And you're hoping to have that baby on your birthday.
yes.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Or at least the day after.
Well, let's say it, here's the thing. Let's talk about this. So your baby has your birthday. Who gets gypped out of the birthday presents? You or the baby? Who do you
Me.
think? Yeah, don't you think? So it would be better if it was the day before or the day after, don't you think?
Right.
Yeah. April, Rory's not here, and I want Rory to be here for you. So I want you to talk with us about what's going on and what's been going on, because you as a brand new mom, right now you're going at this alone, and it's going to be tough. And I'm just looking for a way to let you know that telling the truth is going to be the best way to go with this. Because I'm going to tell you a story. My grandmother was 4'10", little bitty woman. She had a mean backhand. You never cursed in front of my grandma because she would smack you. And she drank Stroh's beer in the long neck bottles and smoked Pall Mall cigarettes till she was like in her 90s. But my grandma would tell you that no matter how thin you rolled a piece of paper, there was two sides to the piece of paper. And so no matter how thin the story is, there's always two sides to a story. So we know one side of the story, and what we're looking for is the other side of the story. Like what happened, and to hear your version of the story, because we know one side, and I'd really like to give you a chance to talk about your side and Rory's side.
I really don't know what happened or what's happening.
What have you been hearing that's been happening?
I know the guy right there told me that it was a murder that happened by CVS a couple of nights ago, and I told him I didn't know nothing about that.
Okay. I mean the guy that's here on the porch that's kind of looking at us? Do you know his name? Okay. He's just somebody that lives in the building too?
Yes.
Did he say who was murdered by CVS or what happened? Did he give you any details?
It just was like two guys. They robbed the guy, and then the guy got murdered.
Okay. Has Rory been talking about what he's heard?
No.
What about the other guy? Does he go by Frank or Franklin? What name does he go by?
What,
The guy with the beard, yeah.
Oh, they go by Ty.
Ty? Has Ty been talking about it?
He don't be around us. He stay upstairs.
Okay.
Even if he do come around, he don't talk about much.
Kind of keeps to himself? Does he work anywhere?
He worked with this guy doing like landscaping.
Okay. Is Rory working anywhere right now?
Yeah, with Ty doing the
Landscaping? Trying to do the best he can to keep you comfortable and get ready for that baby. He told me that the baby's going to Michigan State. Is that true?
No.
I hope not, because I'm from Michigan. You know what we say about Michigan State, right? You only go to Michigan State when you can't get in the University of Michigan. So you got to convince him that that baby cannot go to Michigan State. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Why is he saying Michigan State? What's his great love with Michigan State? Is Rory originally from Michigan?
Detroit, Michigan?
Really?
Yes.
Are you from Michigan?
No, from Miami.
Have you ever been to Michigan?
No.
Don't go to Detroit. It's ugly, ugly city. Uglier than Miami. At least Miami has an ocean you can look at. Detroit's got polluted lakes you can look at. So, well, in Michigan, you have to pick one of the two schools. It's like down here, the Seminoles or the Gators. What kind of fan are you? So I guess we need to talk to them. That baby cannot go to Michigan State. Pinky promised me the baby's not going to Michigan State.
I promise.
All right, that's good. Because April, I know there's been a lot of talk about what's been going on, and it's really unfortunate, but Rory's name has come up in this, and Ty's name has come up in it, and that's why they're not here, is because their names are all wrapped up in this. And it's really, here's the weird thing for all of us that have done search warrants before. Usually, if somebody doesn't know what's going on, they'll say, what's going on? Why are you here? Do you have a warrant? I want to see the paper. I don't know what's going on. You've been really, really quiet tonight, almost like you kind of knew that someday we would come and knock on the door, and that it just happened tonight, and you kind of sat there thinking, okay, it happened, and this is going to suck, because you weren't the kind of person that asked the questions that people normally ask. So I got to tell you, I think there's been some talk. I know you weren't involved, but I think you've been hearing talk, or people have been talking with you or talking around you, and you know something about what happened Friday night.
Honestly, I don't. When the man handcuffed me, I just asked him what is going on, and he didn't say it.
Okay. I'm looking at, it was Friday. Where was Rory Friday? Last Friday, the 17th,
Yeah, with you.
all night.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to talk to you about something. Remember, no matter how thin a piece of paper is, there's two sides. One side of the story and your side of the story. Your side of the story needs to be really, really truthful, because if it's not, telling something that's not accurate or not is not truth can make things worse. Telling the truth can only make things better. And what I want to let you know is, when you walk this neighborhood, like if you've been walking around it, there are video cameras everywhere. And we've pulled video from all over this neighborhood. And you know what we see on Friday? 8:11 p.m. Ty leaves here and he walks up 2nd Street towards Laurel. At 8:19 p.m., 4 minutes after a murder happened, Ty's coming back down 2nd Street. Guess who's with him? Rory. 4 minutes after somebody got killed. Now we don't.
I mean, I know he's not earlier with it, but they were on the afternoon, like 7, 8 weeks in the house.
Okay. Because I don't believe Rory or Ty or anybody meant for someone to die that night. I don't think that meant that happened. That was a bad thing. It was something that they did that went wrong. And there's a big difference between leaving your house looking for somebody to murder them, and and leaving the house looking to maybe get some money back, maybe get some drugs, maybe to scare somebody, and then it just goes wrong and somebody ends up dying. You see the difference there? I mean, if you were facing a situation, would you rather be the person that went deliberately, intentionally, and meant to kill somebody, or would you rather be the person that got kind of hooked up in something and it just went wrong and it happened? Who would you rather be?
Amazing.
Yeah, me either. But I mean, if one or the other had to happen, I would much rather have it be an accident, like a mistake. And I think that's what happened here, because we're hearing that there was stuff going on with Rory and Ty, and some of the stuff might not even have been their idea. That we think somebody talked to Rory and somebody talked to Ty and convinced them that this thing would be a good thing for them to do. And then they agreed to do it, and then it just went horribly, horribly wrong. And a mistake happened. And I cannot believe that Rory, as a good man, you know what his last words to us when we were taking him? Please make sure April's okay. Please make sure my baby's okay. Please don't do anything to hurt my baby. So even though he's looking at some stuff, his last concern, you and that baby of yours. So I know he's a good man. I know he's going to be a good father, and I know he's done right by you. It's been really hard to find a place to live down here since the hurricane. It's been really hard to find a job down here since the hurricane. And despite the fact that it's been really hard, he's done right by you. I mean, you're not living in a palace, but you got running water. You've taken care of yourself to get a little bit of electricity. He's got a place for you to cook. There's food on the table. He's got a plan to take you over to the hospital when that baby is due. So he's doing right by you. He's doing everything he can to do right by you. Now, a good man like that wouldn't have that mistake happen and not come home and talk to you about it. He's going to tell you about it. He's going to tell you what happened. He's going to tell you the story because he's going to want to let you know he didn't do the bad thing. He's going to want to let you know it was a mistake. So I know, April, that he's talked to you, and I know that they've talked around you, and I know that he was not the one that came up with this idea, that somebody gave him and Ty the idea to go do this thing, get a little bit of money, maybe get a little bit of drugs to sell for money. And I think Rory got all wrapped up in that because he knew a little bit of money would help you and help the baby. He did it for all the right reasons, April. He didn't do it to go out and smoke crack. He didn't do it to go out and buy brand new shoes for himself. He did this to help you and help that baby. He did it for all the right reasons, and it just went badly. But I know he talked to you about it because he's a good man, and he would have shared with you to let you know, please don't think I'm a bad guy. Please don't think I did this to hurt somebody.
He
It just,
didn't tell me nothing. He came back home. He didn't say nothing.
did you know something was wrong?
No,
Okay,
because he was acting the same way he normally act when he's around me.
okay. And that's Friday when he came home? Do you remember him leaving the house around 8 o'clock?
He left way before that.
Way before 8, okay. Do you remember what time he got home Friday night?
Probably like about 9 o'clock.
Okay. How was he acting when he got home?
Normal, like just relaxed, like he always
Okay,
come in, ask me, am I all right? Did I eat? If not, can you cook something for me? And I told him, no, I'm fine. I ate, and he sat down and just started watching TV with me.
okay. Did Ty come home with him Friday night about 9?
Oh, I don't know what time was at that time.
Okay,
I don't stay with us, so if he did come in, I didn't see him
okay. When's the next time you saw Ty?
that next day.
Next day? Ty say anything? Have you heard bits and pieces of conversations between Ty and Rory talking?
Most of the time when they talk, they come outside because they always smoking cigarettes and they know I don't like the smell.
Okay,
So they'll come outside and he'll close the door. So if they are talking, I don't know.
okay. Because he's worried about you. He's really worried. And he just said, promise me. He made me promise that I would take care of you and make sure that we took care of the baby. And that we wouldn't do anything to put you and the baby in a bad way. And I gave the man my word. And the reason I did is I can tell he's a good man to you. And he's going to be a good father to that baby. This is just something that went really, really wrong. And I want to work really hard at trying to help him get it right, get it straight. Just tell us what happened. Just be honest about it and just say, look, because I think he got jammed up in this, April. And I think you know it too. Do you know a woman by the name of Paula by any chance? Do you know, has he ever talked about Paula? What about a woman named April? Your name. Okay. What do you think was going on when they were coming back 4 minutes after a guy died, walking down 2nd Street together? Why would they be together if they weren't together when he left? Don't you see where I think it's kind of odd? I mean, they're coming from a place where somebody just died, I think by accident, but they're walking down the street, and they're not walking, April. They're not smoking a cigarette, and they're not walking like somebody walks when they're taking a walk. They're hauling. They're moving quick away from what just happened. And he comes home to you. And I think he's been struggling with, how do I tell her? And I just think tonight that part of your reaction was, it happened. They're here. And I think he's been controlled about it. And he may be, like you're describing, very calm about it. But he's been nervous, worried. There's been a lot of phone calls, a lot of conversations on the porch, probably more than you usually see. And I think those conversations have been about what happened down on Laurel. And he's trying to figure out what to do. And I think he confided in you. And I don't think Rory was the guy in this. You know, you usually have two people. Like, you and I might plan to do something, and let's say we're just planning a birthday party. You'll take the lead in the birthday party planning. I'll be there to help you, but you're going to take the lead in planning the party. And I just kind of go along for the ride. And I think what happened here is Rory got an idea put in his head that there was a way to get a little bit of quick money. Nobody was supposed to get hurt. They were just supposed to go get some money. He was going to be able to come home and take better care of you and the baby. And it just went bad. And I think Rory got sucked into this. I don't think this was his idea. He doesn't seem to be that kind of guy.
I know he's a good
He would
man.
deliberately plan to go rob somebody or to go hurt somebody, to do anything to anybody.
What was that? Did somebody say something?
I did. I said, yeah, he's a good man. How many times she have to say he's a good man?
Right. I don't like.
He didn't do nothing wrong. He's a good man. I know he is.
It looks like she's fishing for information, like Grandma said, and God,
She's sucking up.
Yeah, you don't
She's
ever
tough.
have to talk to the cops, ever.
And she's telling him so much information that shouldn't be right.
Very wrong. There's so much that I'm getting off of this. Now it looks like I have to look into this police department, and every cop that is in these documents, believe me, I'm going to be looking into it.
Well, that's my $100 bill.
Oh my God.
But I know he's hurting for money, and I know he's really worried about you and really worried about that baby. So I think might have been Ty, might have been somebody else, convinces him, look, come with me. I know where there's some money. Bunch of crackheads anyway. They're not going to miss it. We'll go up in there. We'll get the money. We'll get out of there. They'll never know it's us. And you got money for you in April. And I think he said, not a bad idea, because there was no plan to hurt anybody. And that's what I think happened here, April. I think he just got all sucked up into something. And I think if he could do the do-over button and take Friday back, in a heartbeat, he would take Friday back. And he never would have left the house. He would have stayed home with you. But it was that money, the thought of the money being able to help you and help the baby and help make things right, or more right here, that really drove him to do what he normally would never, ever do. And I think it's sad, because I think what's happening is you probably have Ty telling a completely different story, because Ty's talking to the detectives, and I'm sure he's up in there blaming Rory. because
Okay, her
Ty, I
insincerity
don't
is
think is a
pissing
good.
me off.
Ty didn't give a shit about you.
Cool. Let's get into this.
Her insincerity is pissing me off.
Right?
I'm just wild right now. I'm just wild.
See, I would just be wanting to
listening to
slap her right in the mouth. I don't like any of that kind of shit. Don't suck up to me and blow smoke up my ass.
Right.
But they do it to everybody. I mean, they didn't do it to me. I wish they would have. But they do that to everybody that they interrogate at this point. It
They
seems
look at
like.
people that are down in their luck or they're addicts.
Yep.
What do you think about that, Grandma?
That's exactly what they're doing.
Okay.
That's exactly what they're doing. And you know, it's vile because they know that person is vulnerable and needy and in a position where they can't struggle any
Right,
more
she's
than they
getting ready
already
to
are
have
in
a
life.
baby.
And
Yeah.
they're pushed, they're steering them in a certain direction, you know, to get the answers that they want. They're trying to fit their narrative instead
Right.
of finding out what's really going on, which is terrible police work. Terrible.
Grandma, I got numerous recordings of the same thing they've done. Numerous.
Yep. She sure does.
It's one of my pet peeves. You know, I'm one of those ones who watches all the auditing, you know, the First Amendment audits and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes. I love watching those.
I watch them constantly.
Well, like she's
because
doing.
It just irks me. It's injustice that gets me mad.
She's telling them what she thinks so that they can go onto that story and telling them what they should think.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Very
But
good.
I've been
Yeah,
listening to it for 2 years now.
Twisted and sick people, man, I'm telling you.
Well,
psychopathic.
She's probably afraid of thinking, oh my God, I'm going to go to jail.
And she's pregnant.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. what did almost just say? They sound weird. I'm being weird. Leading the witness. Yes, Jimmy. Hey, Grandma. That court hearing, his court hearing today, was that the cop on the stand that's right here now?
Well, now, see, that's what I was saying, is I think it's the same cop. I think it was the heavyset lady we saw today.
Yep, I think it is too. Her voice sounds familiar.
It does, and her mannerisms, and that she was one of the first on the scene, remember?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we may be incorrect, but I don't think so. I think that's her.
See, because that lady, she got demoted. This detective got demoted.
Because of paperwork. She stepped down, she said, because of all the crap that they see, all the death.
But she's been in the police department how many years? 10 plus years? Remember?
She was only in that position for like 2 years.
2 years, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so the paperwork was too much on her.
Well, she was behind on her paperwork, and that's not okay.
Or maybe they're just saying that because they want her to keep her mouth shut.
Of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she looked terrified today.
But she was so upset because it's bringing back all those feelings.
Yep.
You know, of not being a cop anymore.
Because Tucker was trying to get that video to play, remember? The DA.
Yeah, and it wouldn't work.
Yep. The DA got mad. The judge was yelling at this poor man. All right.
He didn't care about this house. He didn't care about you and this baby.
Yeah.
All he wanted to know is, what's Rory saying? What's Rory saying? What's he saying? What's he saying? And I think he's in there telling the detectives, this was Rory's fault. It was his idea. I only went along. He did it. I didn't do anything. And Rory needs to go. And that's what really sucks about this. Because meeting those two guys tonight, for the very short time that I met him, April, I can tell you, Ty's not a good guy. Rory is a good guy.
And I tried to tell Roy, like, when we first met this guy in Cox, that he don't mean you no good. Detroit, well, Roy, he's like, he's a good person. He's a good person. He never crossed me. And I'm like, but you can't trust everybody.
Yep.
I always felt that Ty wasn't right. Like, I felt it in my heart. He never cared about me or my baby because he would come to my house. Even if I told him don't smoke, he would still fire up a cigarette, like disrespecting me, like no care.
Yep. And I think that's exactly what he's doing right now. I think he's disrespecting you. I think he's disrespecting that baby. And I think he's disrespecting Rory. And I think he's telling a story that makes Rory be the bad guy in all this. So he thinks he can walk out of here and skate out of here and say, not on me. He did it. He did all of it. And I'm going to tell you everything he did. And I know, April, I know that Rory talked to you and told you stuff. And what you tell me, if it matches what Rory tells us, then guess what? Who's more believable in this? You and Rory telling the truth, or Ty telling a bunch of lies? But the only way I know that is if you tell us the truth now, so we get your side of the paper. So you get your side of the story. So your side of the story and Rory's side of the story are the true sides of the story, and Ty is the liar that he is. And he is the guy that's the bad guy that's making Rory try to be the bad guy. So that's what I'm looking for you to do, April, is do right by Rory, do right by yourself, and just tell us your side of the story. Tell us what you know, so we can take those two stories and they're the truth. And the truth is a whole lot stronger than the lie. Your mom probably told you truth sets you free, makes you sleep a whole lot better at night.
I mean, I don't really know what was happening, but I do know before Roy even went out that night by himself, that Ty and that guy Travis jumped in Travis' truck. And how do I know? Because I was standing outside on that porch earlier that day, and I seen them two take off in the truck.
Okay, well, what time was that?
It was like probably like 4, 5 o'clock.
Okay, so Ty and Travis go in the truck. When does Rory leave the house?
About like 7, close to around 8.
Okay. Do you ever see Ty and Travis and Rory talking during the day on Friday?
They was all upstairs that day
Okay,
talking.
talking. And so they leave first, 4 or 5 o'clock. Rory leaves 7, 8 o'clock. Now Rory comes home. Was
The
he?
only thing they kept telling me, like Travis started talking to me for the first time Friday and was like, "We're planning to go fishing. If you want to go, you can go." And he was like, "When we finish talking, Roy gonna come back down there." And I thought maybe they were just planning on for us to go fishing that day. I didn't know, whatever happened, I didn't know anything like that was gonna occur.
Okay. So in April, I don't think you were part of the plan at all. I think Rory did what Rory does. He protected you. If you don't know what's going to happen, then you can't get all wrapped up in it. You can't get in trouble for it. So they had the conversation away from you, so you don't know anything about it. He's trying to make sure you're protected. How do I know that? He's a good guy. He's a good man. He did right by you. So I think they made this plan, and I think when Rory left the house, the plan's already in motion. Now Rory comes home about 9, you said, right? What's he tell you?
Lady, you don't know nothing. Girl, I like this comment. They aren't supposed to ask to aid in their investigation. Right. That's what CIs do, right? I'm not liking this cop. It's the same one. I know it is. I'm going to have to show you who she is. Okay, that's all I got to say. Anybody has anything to say, just yell at me.
The next couple of days, because I know he told you. I'm not stupid.
He didn't say nothing to me. Just chilling, just watching TV. And he kept running upstairs talking to the other guys and stuff. Like he just was up there constantly. So if he was talking, he wasn't talking to me. So I really don't know nothing.
Okay. Did he talk to you about, listen, if something happens and I'm not here, what are you going to do about you and the baby? Did he have any kind of those conversations? Because he's known for the last couple of days that the police were coming through the door. He's known, April.
No, I just always felt that they like somebody would come and tell us everybody got to get out.
Okay. Yeah, that was probably coming too. But I, and I know that he's probably been calm around you because he knows you're close to delivering and he didn't want you stressed and he didn't want you anxious. So I think he's been putting on a real brave face. But I think you've noticed he spent a lot of time upstairs. He spent a lot of time on the porch and he spent a lot of time on the phone. He's been talking because he's scared. And I think he shared some of that with you. And I'm looking for us to be able to match what you talk to us about and what Rory tells us to make it be true. So we can say, listen, these two aren't lying. April talked to us. Rory was nowhere around. Rory talked to Detective Pitcher. April was nowhere around. They both told the same story. They both told the same version of what happened. Because I think Ty or Travis talked him into doing something. And it just went bad.
He didn't say nothing to me at all.
Did Ty tell you anything? Was there any conversation that you might have heard about where Ty might have been threatening Rory about talking? Did Travis threaten Rory at all that you heard about? Hey,
No, every time I was like, Travis was around, if I was on the front porch, he would just say, "Hey, I'm going to work," and that's it.
okay, this is April. This is a mess. I wish
Me
I
and Ty, we don't get along, so he really don't say nothing to me at all.
let me ask you this: do you think Ty is telling the detectives bad things about you? Do you think maybe Ty is trying to say that you planned this and set Rory up? You don't think he would do that?
No,
I mean, I know from meeting you that you would never do that. I can tell. And that's why I wanted to talk to you, April, because I just see a good person who's in a bad spot and trying to make the best of it. And God love you. You know, it takes a lot of courage to do what you're doing. And most people would give up and they would just say, screw this, I'm not doing this anymore. And you would have went back to your family. You wouldn't have stayed, wouldn't have stayed by Rory. You just would have went where life was a little bit easier. You didn't do that. You stayed with the guy. You stayed with your guy. And he's staying real loyal to you. And I know that he wants to do right by you because that's what he told me. Promise me you'll take care of her. Promise me you'll take care of my baby. And when he told me the baby was going to Michigan State, I said, I'm not so sure I can promise you that. But what I think is happening right now, April, is Ty is talking. And Ty's talking a lot. And he's saying that Rory did this and that it was Rory's plan and Rory got them all to do it. And Rory told them about the money, and Rory said, let's go do this. And Rory went and got the stuff together, and Rory planned to meet there, and it was all him. And when it went bad, it was him that lost his temper. And I don't see Rory as a guy with a temper at all.
he don't have a bad temper at all, and he never said nothing to me. Like I said, he just every time he wanted to, I guess, talk, he would go upstairs or he was outside on the phone. He was never talking to me. I mean, he talked to me, but not about if something went wrong or something happened. He would just chill, just ask me, "Am I okay? Is the baby okay?" But other than that, he never said a word of anything went wrong or something happened. He never said nothing to me.
Okay. Did you see him or Ty trying to do anything with clothes that might have blood on them?
I seen Ty.
What'd you see?
He came downstairs and then he was in the storage room and I happened to open it because I heard noise and Roy was like, "Why are you being nosy?" And I was like, "I'm not being nosy. I just hear something. I'm trying to figure out somebody's trying to break in our house because people always messing with that front door." And I seen Ty taking off his clothes and he was putting them in a bag,
What kind of bag was he putting them in?
like a regular plastic bag,
Like,
bag. Like if you go to the gas station or somewhere, they give you a little bag.
Okay, like you get from like a Winn-Dixie or a Publix or a gas station. Did you notice anything weird with the clothes? Did you see blood on the clothes?
It was really dark. The storage is very dark, so I couldn't really see nothing.
In your house there, which room is the storage room?
The one where you go out that other door, and there's a lot of stuff in the other room.
Okay. So was he naked or pretty close to naked when you saw him?
Pretty much
What do you have? What's the only thing he had on?
a tank top. He didn't have on no boxers or nothing. That's when I just closed the door. After Roy asked me what was I doing, I just closed the door and locked it, and I just sat back down and just went to watching TV.
Did Ty ever say anything to you about you seeing him?
I don't think he seen me, but I know he heard the door because it's kind of you have to kind of shove the door for it to close. So I know he heard
Okay.
the
What day
door.
did you see this happen?
Friday,
Friday, what time?
Friday like maybe like 12 o'clock.
So midnight? Okay. What did he do with the bag after he put the clothes in the bag?
I really don't know what he did with that because I closed the door.
Okay. Did you notice anyone with blood on their shoes? So no blood on, no like bloody footprints in the house when somebody might have walked back in your house with blood on their shoes?
No, because Roy was the only one came in the house that night.
Okay. So when Ty came in, did he come in through the front door?
Mhm.
So he usually comes in the front and goes up.
Mhm.
So he's the one that lives upstairs. So when he came in the front door, that storage area is off that front door, but you can get to it from your place too. All right. So you heard the noise, went to that storage area, and Ty was there,
Yes.
and he had only his tank top on.
Like I seen him taking his shirt off. Like he had already had his pants on. I seen him taking his shirt off or whatever. I don't know whether he had on pants or shorts, but I know he didn't have nothing on, and I seen him taking his shirt off. He had an undershirt, a white undershirt on,
What kind of shirt was he wearing that he was taking off? Did you see?
like a black shirt.
Black. Did it have any writing on it? Any design on it?
I didn't really catch anything. I just caught him. It was already like halfway up.
Okay. Did you see the kind of pants he was wearing?
Mm.
Okay.
I don't know was it pants or shorts, but I know when I opened the door, those was already off. Like he was practically naked.
Okay. Let's talk about the mask that we found behind the door. Whose mask?
That belongs to Ty,
Okay. How do we know it's Ty's?
because he had it with him for Halloween. He brought it over here.
Was that mask in the storage area? Is that where we found that mask? Was in the storage area?
No, it was actually Ty actually had brought it in our house one day, and I told him, "Can you get that out my house? Because I don't like scary masks."
Spooky mask.
And he took it and removed it. I don't know where he put it at, but I know he took it out of our house.
Did you see it just recently behind the door where it was hanging?
No,
Okay, so you haven't seen the mask.
I've seen it before,
Right.
like when he brought it in our house, but I didn't see it like what 2 3 days ago recently. I
Okay.
haven't seen it.
And you don't know if Ty saw you taking his clothes off and putting it in the bag, but you're pretty certain he might have heard the door because you have to push the door real hard. But he's never said anything to you?
No, I don't think he even seen me.
Okay. Did you tell Rory what you saw?
No,
Okay. But Rory asked you about why you being nosy? And was that the last conversation you had about that?
he asked me what are you doing? Why you at the door? What you being nosy for? And I was like, I hear a noise. It sounds like somebody might be trying to break in. And he was like, okay. But at that time, he was on the phone with somebody, so he wasn't like really too into what I was doing. He was, but not really like that. Like when I told him it appears that I feel like somebody might be breaking in, I'm just checking. He just went back to doing whatever he was doing on the phone, and I closed the door, and I know he heard me when I shoved the door. Like I know he looked up, but I don't think he seen me.
Okay. And Ty's never said anything to you about that night. And Rory's never told you not to say anything because he was afraid that Ty might hurt you or might say something to you.
No.
How do you feel about Ty? Like 1 to 10, 1 you don't like the
Damn.
can't stand him. So 1 means you can't stand him. 10 you love the guy. And are you at a 1 or a 0?
I'm like a 10 with him. I can't stand
Can't stand him. Okay. Do you trust him?
You know,
Do you think Rory trusts him?
yes.
But you've had that talk with Rory about don't trust this guy. He's a
Plenty of time, and
but Rory's a pretty trusting guy.
he's like, oh, he never crossed me. He never did nothing to, mess me over. He never fought me, jumped on me or anything. So, I trust him. And I'm like, okay. He's like, no matter how much you don't like him, how much you can't stand him, I trust him. And I'm like, okay, whatever you say.
Okay. I, I want to make this right by you as much as we can. I really do, April. I'm sitting here with my stomach twisting and my heart's wrenched because I see a really decent human being in you and a really decent man and human being in Rory, and I just see things getting topsy turvy and all screwed up because of what happened. And I want to do right by you. I really do. I mean, I want to do what we can to do right by you. And I just, I, I'm going to leave here tonight and I'm not going to sleep because I firmly believe in my heart and soul that he talked with you and you're just afraid.
Being honest, he didn't say much to me at all. When talking, he talk about, am I all right? When we gonna go to my family house and visit them. But other than that, he didn't talk to me about nothing.
Okay. He might have just still been trying to protect you then. Because I'm telling you, Ty is going to try to make this be all Rory's fault. Because you know the kind of guy he is. And you said it best. You can't stand the guy. You know what Rory's going to be able to say after tonight? Ty crossed him. And he's never, ever, ever going to be able to look you in the eyes again and say, oh, he's never crossed me. He's done right by me. He's not doing right by you guys right now. Not at all. He's doing you dirty in every single way a human being can do another person. Because he is all about him. Life for Ty is all about Ty. And he's going to make certain that he walks away from this and you walk away stinky because he's just trying to avoid the stench. He doesn't want any of this coming back on him. And he's painting a picture that isn't pretty for Rory. And because it's not going to be pretty for Rory, you're like the casualty of war. You get the fallout because of what happened on Friday. And again, I think it was nothing but a mistake. It was a terrible mistake. It was tragic, but it was a frickin' mistake. And people make mistakes. We should all be able to hit the do-over button and say, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to hurt anybody. It just went sideways. And it happened, and I'm sorry that it happened. And I think that's what happened here. It just went sideways. And I'm hoping Rory can get Detective Pitcher to see that. We're going to leave you with Rose's card, okay? Because I'm fresh out. She's got business cards. I don't carry them. Because that means people call me all the time. We'll give you, I'll write something down. She just said she doesn't. Now she's going to get in trouble because she doesn't have a business card. That's what happens when there's 2 bars and no bars.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Now you said that Ty put some clothes in, it's like in a grocery bag. What did he do with them?
I have no idea because I had already closed the door at that time. I just seen him was taking his shirt off and putting it in the bag.
Did you look at the shirt? Did you see anything? I mean, at least the plans, anything?
It was already up, like coming, like pulling over. So only thing I know, the shirt was just black.
Gotcha. Okay. And what was your husband wearing that night?
He had on a black shirt with blue writing on it.
Did you notice anything on his clothing that he had?
No, I didn't see nothing on his clothes. 'Cause when he came in, he sat down in the room, and the TV so big, it's a lot of light. I didn't see nothing on his clothes.
Did he just take it off and throw it to the side? Or?
He just sat down right in the chair, in the little beach chair that we have in the room. He just sat down in it and just watching TV.
He didn't say anything like, "Hey, babe, listen, this is something that occurred. Like the captain said, it's something that should have never happened."
No, he didn't say nothing to me. He would just ask me, was I hungry or did I eat already? And if I was hungry, he could fix me something to eat. And I told him I was good. I had ate already.
April, I'm gonna give you my cell phone number because the next time you talk to Rory, I want you two to have a heart to heart, and I want you to let him know that although he thinks he's protecting you, that there comes a time when the truth sets everybody free, and that just merely trying to protect you may really be more harmful than it's good. And I'm sorry this isn't a fancy business card, but
Do you remember what kind of shoes was the other gentleman wearing that night?
I think it was like kind of grayish, brownish kind of looking.
tennis shoes, sneakers, low tops, high tops.
Um,
Okay.
What was yours?
he had flip flops, like Nike, kind of sort of Nike. I don't know if they're Nike shoes, but they're kind of like that. The black and blue flip flops.
Okay.
She makes me want to puke.
I'm giving you my non-fancy business card. See that? It's not fancy because it's
Sure.
a piece of paper out of my notebook.
He sure
It's
does.
got my name. It's got my phone number. That's my cell phone. It's the easiest, best way to get me.
Call
If you
me at
think of
home
anything,
anytime.
you hear anything, you talk to Rory, and you want to talk to me again, call that number any time of the day or night. I answer it all the time. People call me all the time of the day and night, and that's the easiest way to get a hold of me. And if there's anything we can do to help you and the baby, let us know. Okay?
But don't wake me
We've
up.
got victim advocates in our agency that can help in the situation when things get really, really hard. So we'll help you any way we can, okay? Okay. I'm going to have Rosa take you back in because I've got a crazy man calling me.
Kit,
Yes.
are you frozen?
No, why?
Because I can't hear anything other than nothing.
She's talking to the lady.
Oh, we just can't hear her talking outside the car.
Yeah, outside the car.
Oh, gotcha.
She's shaking her hand and giving her a big hug and everything now.
That's it.
She's got her back.
The things that they'll do to fit their narrative, they'll go to the weakest link.
I had Katie hug me. I tried to shake her hand. She goes, "Oh no, let me give you a hug."
Oh,
Thought
hell
I
no.
saved it. Oh, I hugged her.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I played the game. I'll hug you. Ask Jimmy.
I'm a very huggy person, but that would not freaking happen.
Oh man. You want to play a game? I can play it too. Here. Oh sure, I'll hug you.
That's like oh hell no from me. Not happening.
Nope.
That kill him with kindness.
Yeah, I
Mm-mm.
do agree with that to an extent, but you ain't hugging my ass. That's what I was saying.
Now the lady at the
No,
courthouse.
you're in my bubble.
I'm sorry. She was blowing so much smoke up that lady's butt. It made me sick. Oh,
Right.
he's such a good man. You're such a good person. I know that Ty is the bad guy. Bull crap. You're trying to dig around and get her to trust you enough to tell you something.
Right. I
Piece
wish
of
I'd have
shit.
wrote down how many times she said he's a good man.
That who was Roy?
That yeah, her man was a good man. She knew he was a good man. If I should have wrote down how many times she said that to the woman.
Well, yeah, he did pot and all that, but he's still a good guy. Just saying. She's what is no big deal, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
But she couldn't
Just
find
to
it.
get information. That was all
Yeah.
about getting information.
Right. Get in your car, lady, so we can see your face. I want to see the same car. I have a good feeling it is. The one that was on the stand today.
Not
And like
mad.
Grandma said, she said in the beginning, and I didn't catch that off the record. This don't look like it's off the record.
No,
Obviously.
because they have to have their body cam on anytime they interface with the public. It's in their policy. They absolutely have to have that camera on.
Yeah, they have
don't?
the camera. Yeah, but they can have the camera on and tell you they have the camera on, and then lightning strikes it, so you don't know what's said anyway. I mean, that's exactly what happened to me. They let me know I was on body cam, had me make a phone call to the sheriff's office, and when I asked for that body cam footage, lightning struck there again.
Oh,
No,
they
I think-
lost it?
No, lightning struck. That's what they told me. I have
Lightning.
a paper saying, unfortunately, on August 3rd, lightning struck Fredericktown again. So they cannot give me that information. That body
Fredericktown-
cam footage is gone.
The Fredericktown don't have
Right.
that right now, right?
The
Right.
city does, but the sheriff doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The sheriffs and the deputies, the sheriff doesn't want the deputies to have body cams. But the chief of police had a body cam, and I was in his car with him and two other deputies, and they let me know I was on body cam, had me make a phone call with my phone on speakerphone to the sheriff's office, and we had a little bit of conversation about Bobby Boone and all that in there. So when I did the sunshine law request for that audio from the camera, I have the letter to prove it. It says, unfortunately, lightning struck on August the 3rd. So Timmy's 911 call wasn't recorded because lightning struck back then in February, before February. They got it fixed. And then again, on August the 2nd, lightning struck again. So I said to him, I said, so in other words, when you want something from you guys, lightning strikes it. I mean, I almost want to laugh. It's so
Setting off.
ridiculous.
No. Bullet to
How interesting was that?
Well, that was
Yeah.
good. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Right?
I'm curious to see the outcome.
Oh, there's more to come. Let's see here.
Great. I'm already mad.
Why?
But I do believe all cops should have body cams, and they should have to be on all the time. That's
Do
why
you-
we know what was just said there.
Do you want to hear the informants? Do you want to look at the informants?
Yeah.
Okay, that one's only 20 minutes. Okay, hold on. Hold on, sorry. Ugh. Oh. What is going on? Okay. You guys, my computer's going to hell. There's no. There we go. There we go.
I'm assuming it's regarding my letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
The attorney contacted me yesterday night only, and wanted me to see today and see if you can fill me in a little bit more, if you would.
Okay. Well, first of all, the victims were acquaintances of mine, and the lady Paula that had her throat cut was, she's a friend of mine, I consider, and it was just coincidental that I'm in here on a possession charge, and I was in E-dorm 2 months ago.
Because I just got to make sure that we're good on our end.
Okay.
It is on.
And can you do me one quick favor? Can you give me your full name and date of birth?
My name is Robert Nevius. I was born 8/29/74.
Okay. And you swear and affirm that everything about to tell me is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And today is April 13th, 2018, and they took my phone and everything else with it, so I do not know what time it is, but
It's about 11:15.
that's what I thought. All right. Sounds good.
So I ended up playing Scrabble with this guy in the F dorm, and
When you say this guy, that would be
Rory Wilson, and then I found out that he's the accused in this case where somebody died, and then I was bringing some coffee back from the kitchen, and I got caught in the X-ray with a little bit of coffee, so I ended up alpha, and then coincidentally I got put in a cell with him, which was kind of crazy, but he really confided in me. I didn't let him know about the nature of my association with the victims, and he had just said a lot of things that because he kept going on about his case, and he said he was very mad at one of his co-defendants because he left the mask in his truck. He was pissed off about it. It seemed like he was really pissed off about that. And the one thing that he said was, I don't leave victims. I wasn't trained like that, because it kind of seems like he's from Detroit, and it seems like this is something that he's used to. And I had written some other stuff down. I would actually just woke up.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's fine. Trying to think of what else I had written down. And then of course he's in alpha because he lost his temper. Like he said, yeah, he spit on somebody. He said it was just because I couldn't get a hold of him. The guy was laying down and kicking him, and he couldn't get to him to hit him, so he spit on the guy. And so he's in there for 30 days. And it just, all these things he was saying, and there was other things too. I just kind of felt like he's capable of this.
Right. Obviously our objective is to do the best we can for Paula and for Matt, and Matt's family in this case.
Yeah. Matt was he was a sweet guy, and he was completely innocent in the whole thing. He was just coming to try to save Paula from being robbed, and I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, and then he had said that he left some bloody clothes in where he lives upstairs, and he said, "Oh, their warrant wasn't." He kept showing me the signatures. He said, "Oh, these signatures don't match up. That's not really the judge's signature." And they searched illegally, and they found these clothes, and why do you have bloody clothes in your place?
Did he say what the bloody clothes were in or anything like that?
No, he just said that they were inside upstairs or something like that.
Okay. Did he tell you about that night? Like, did he go through that night with you about what they were doing, what they were up to?
He said he was working at Burger King, and he
Okay.
said that one of the co-defendants had come up by there and said, "Oh, this lady Paula has some crack, you know,
Okay.
that she has a substantial amount of crack, and we can come up off this." And he never said, "Oh yeah, I went over there and did it," but
Right.
that's what he said he was doing. He was at work, and the guy came by and brought that up, and
Did he say which guy by chance?
I believe it was Travis.
Okay.
I believe it was Travis, and
No, and I apologize because I know I'm asking him. So
Okay.
when you say you believe it was Travis, is that because he said Travis or just what you
because he had the truck, and then he said something about he wanted some gas money or something to drive,
Okay.
and that was the other guy, I think. But he never, honestly, he never came right out and said, "Oh, he was just like, oh, I wouldn't do it like I wouldn't do it like that. I wouldn't leave. I wasn't trained to leave witnesses. We don't leave witnesses." I don't know. It just kind of upset me.
Absolutely.
I just like to see some justice, because that guy Matthew was just the nicest guy. He would just bring people in that needed a place to live, and so.
I'll be honest, from our investigation, what we've seen, you couldn't be more right. It sounds like you got taken advantage of a lot.
Yeah, he did.
He was super nice and trying to always help you.
Yeah, he was a good guy. I remember after the hurricane, I actually was without. I lost my place from the hurricane, and I stayed up there a couple of times.
Yeah.
So,
Can you think of any specific thing they said, like any statement that really stuck out to you above and beyond? What's the thing they said more than anything?
honestly, it was that one statement that he said he doesn't leave witnesses, but I had it written down. Like when I was in there, I kind of had like a little piece of paper. I was just writing stuff down as it came up, and there were a few other small things.
I was gonna say, do you still have that piece of
Yeah.
paper, or
Yeah.
see if they. We appreciate you coming forward. Obviously, we want to do the best we can, especially for Paul on that.
Yeah. I'm just trying to do what's right, kind of turn my life around here,
Good.
and
Yeah, I saw you're on here on just a couple possession charges, right?
yeah, I have one possession.
How long do you have to look at, or?
I haven't been sentenced yet.
Okay.
I gotta go before Judge Jones. But in a way, this has been kind of a spiritual experience for me, and I kind of feel like there was some divine intervention there, and I was glad to come in here and get myself straightened out, and just looking forward to doing what I have to do and get back out there and being a good father.
Did and just to make sure, obviously, we may ask you to come to court to talk about some of this.
I understand.
But obviously, on our end, we feel it's very important for Matt and Paul's sake.
Yeah.
At this point, that's who we work for.
I saw her the morning after she was released from the hospital. She was just, God, that had been pretty traumatic. She was.
I still meet her almost weekly, and I can tell you she's still.
Yeah, she was just laying there crying, and she's obviously she's got an addiction problem, but she's just this fragile, harmless little thing. Like, she did not deserve that.
No, addiction doesn't make it so you deserve to be a stabbed or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, her throat was just clearly cut, and she's lucky to be alive. It must have been a guardian angel or a drone or whatever it was, but for that little thing to get away from that guy, he's obviously pretty he's a pretty strong feller, and she was lucky to get out of that.
Absolutely.
And then I also know one of the witnesses, Todd O'Quinn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he's technically a victim too. He got stabbed in the finger out of the whole thing.
Oh, I wasn't even aware of that. Yeah. But oh yeah, he kept he was adamant about. Yeah, I actually saw when he came in. He was very adamant about how.
Do you mind going back in there?
No, I don't.
What the hell was that about?
I don't have words. I'm going to start cracking up laughing.
What is that?
I mean,
What-
all he kept saying is how he needed his piece of paper. Well, get the man his piece of paper because remember, he don't remember the story. He had to write it down. Come on.
Yeah, you'd think he'd remember.
How many
something
times
like
did
that.
he say, I don't have my paper that I wrote it down? Well, why? Because somebody told you the story to write it down for you what to say here? I mean, that's
Right.
not what I got out of it. Like, he needs to just shut up. He don't have his paper, remember? He remembers some things, but some other things he don't remember because he doesn't have his paper.
Selective memory, that would be.
Oh, that's it. Selective memory.
Why did he feel the need to write it down? Good one.
Because
Right.
somebody told him to.
Yeah.
I mean, like, remember
police
the
did.
video recording? You said, is Caleb right? Is he reading something off here or is it just me? In that
That's
video
what- yes.
recording. Remember that?
Yes.
So it makes you wonder, okay, well, where's your piece of paper that you had written down? He should have brought it in there because he kept bringing up his paper.
Oh. That was a lot of noise. Jesus, what were they doing?
Let's see.
They're cramming in a little hole.
Yeah, one thing was, his now his thing is he's religious and he knows nothing about, but so he's always reading the Bible, but he doesn't really understand it, and he tries to preach and stuff, and it just seems like a front to me. Yeah, he was just angry a lot, like he would lose his temper
Really fast.
over like he wanted to attack this guy and spit on him, but it's just all the time, it was kind of scary staying in the cell with him. At one point, I actually wrote out a request for him to get taken out of there because I got in a couple arguments with him. The one thing is he was really upset that there were so many CIs down here, and he's like, somebody should kill them, and like he's surprised the CIs live down here because Tustin was informed on, like back where he's from, those people get killed, Yeah, and he said one thing he said about Paula was he said, "Oh, she's a CI, like kind of like she got what she deserved, and she and the other one of the other witnesses, April or Anathea Clay, he was like, "Oh, she's a CI too, and Todd Quinn's a CI. All these people should be killed." And one thing is, he said the only people that he's shared any kind of this information with was myself and another guy named Detroit.
Okay.
The guy that owned he was renting from in the warehouse. He's also from Detroit, coincidentally, and he said that the only people he's confided in and shared any of this stuff with was me and him, because I really kind of acted like, oh, I don't have any, kind of like, yeah, I fucking don't like CIs either. Just because I thought that it might be an opportunity for me to try to get some information on it, because he just doesn't seem like the sharpest tool in the shed. So I was trying to get this to happen.
Right.
If there was anything I could do, because like I said, I was kind of upset about it, and I've lost a lot of friends. Recently, this girl Crystal that I was friends with overdosed, and
What's your last name?
I'm not sure.
This
This is just recent.
Yeah, she's from Marathon normally.
Yeah.
Happens to Stock Island.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
Sorry about that.
yeah, it's just, you know, I don't know. The Matthew guy was just so innocent, you know, so I just kind of, and if there's anything else, I'll certainly.
Yeah, please, absolutely, keep your ears peeled. What about, have you had any conversations with Travis or the other guy?
No, but, while we were in Alpha, he was in Alpha, and, you know, we were allowed out for an hour a day, and at one point Rory was outside of the cell, and the guy was yelling down to him.
Travis
And
was
this,
yelling
oh
at
yes,
you.
this went on for a good 10 minutes.
And what did Travis look like?
I didn't see him, he was in the cell.
Okay.
And, you know, you can only see out through a little crack, but he was up there yelling at Rory.
Were you positive it was Travis and not the
Yes.
other guy?
Oh, wait, you know, I'm pretty sure it was Travis.
All right.
It was one of the other co-defendants.
Gotcha.
He was yelling at Rory, saying, "You killed that man, and you're gonna burn in hell. You're going to prison, and I've already worked out a deal. I'm not going to prison over this." He talked about how he was ex-military. He says, "I have the government on my side, and blah blah. And you killed that man. You're a murderer." And it was just a lot of thing going on. They ended up taking him out and putting him in protective custody.
Okay.
But yeah, it didn't look good for Rory. Rory, it was just kind of like, hey, yeah, you showed up. You know, I'm gonna pray for you, and he's trying to front. But yeah, that's another thing. So.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, please keep your ears peeled.
Yeah.
And especially anything specific that they would mention would be really helpful.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. For sure. And this is the best way for me to go about.
Yeah. If you send a letter,
if you have a number, I can always call.
yeah. Can we write it in your book?
Sure.
Just that's.
Yeah, I was mentioning to you that I've lost friends that, you know, I'm sure what happened to her was fentanyl. You know, a lot of people are opiate addicts, and there's some batches of fentanyl that have come down here. I've overdosed before, and so last year I worked with a couple of detectives, and I was able to get a couple of guys. One came in last night. This guy sold stuff that did kill people. His name Jeffrey Kaplan. So I'm kind of like waiting for this information to come out here. Yeah. I might be going in for that.
You there? Hello?
Talking.
Yeah.
I was talking. Okay. I was muted and talking. Okay. Don't CIs become informants for a deal for them?
That's what I said. Like, it's like, well, it sounded like he was asking him, okay, since I gave you all this, when am I? And then he goes on to something else that the detective says and stops him from it sounded like to me like he was asking, well, what are you going to do for me since I told you this?
Right.
Exactly.
And then the detective cuts him off. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I'm like, yeah. And now he's got his paper and he remembers all kinds of stuff. Once he had his paper and he even said it down, he wasn't looking at his paper when he remembered some of it. I don't know. Make no sense to me.
Can you believe how many informants there are in this case? There's at least 10, you guys.
Wow.
Okay, we're gonna watch Franklin get arrested now. Oh, hold
Do you
on.
think there's that many? Do you think there's that many informers for this case that somebody's wanting him in jail? That person in
Obviously.
jail?
Obviously. Crazy.
Ooh, that makes me think about other cases where they hung them, put them in jail, and they didn't even do it
Right?
when that happens.
Okay, this is Franklin getting arrested. Okay, Grandma. They haven't started their the sound on their body cam yet.
My business card.
Yeah. I'm still wondering why I'm in custody.
I'm about to explain that all to you. Just let me let them finish their job. We don't need.
Yeah, so for the gas money.
Oh, this you can have that.
Yeah, just shove that stuff, all that stuff
Give you a
and
flash
just throw in
on
my
it.
bag for me.
We're gonna hold it. You want this in your bag? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
just throw anything that's mine, just throw it in there, man. That way it's all in one spot.
What's that? Nothing up there. Yeah, that can do. All right. Tell me to drive them over. What's that? Tell me to drive them. You might walk with us.
Can I strap on my shoes with or, well, they're gonna take it from me anyway. I'm sorry.
Wait till we'll get walking. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Watch your step out, all right? All right, Ty. Right now, you're being charged with witness tampering. All right. And right now, we're in the process of receiving warrants for murder, robbery, and aggravated
Why?
battery. What's that? For everything we talked about last night.
Yeah, but I didn't do any of that.
What's that?
I didn't do any of that. You know, if you're talking about, man, witness tampering, man, I ran into Paula today, fucking over at man McDonald's. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't have a Miranda card on me.
I do.
So, oh, do you? Oh, all right. Then we'll go. We're walking anyway. Might as
I
well.
didn't know, man, I wasn't allowed to say anything to her. She came up and talked
Hold
to
on.
me.
I can't say anything at the moment.
Okay.
Hey, can we stop walking for 1 second? Because I can't talk and walk at the same time. All right. Before I ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. You understand that? Anything you say can be used against you in court. You understand that? Okay. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions. You understand that? You have the right to have a lawyer with you during any questions. You understand that? Okay. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questionings if you wish. You understand that? If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop answering questions anytime. Do you understand that? All right. In this case, it has nothing to do with Paula.
Okay.
It has to do with April and the conversation that you had with April today.
I didn't have a conversation with April today.
Okay. Be perfectly blunt. She said some things that only way she would have known to say those things is if she'd had a conversation with you.
Well, no, she didn't have a conversation with me.
All right, that's fine.
I mean, she didn't. I mean,
All right. And then, as you said we talked to Travis today. And Travis flat out told us that he was the getaway driver and that you and Rory, who he named Detroit, went to the treehouse and committed the robbery and murder. Not lying, man. I can't lie. Otherwise, I'm going to take you to jail.
right. No, I hear you.
And last night, Rory told us that you planned the robbery. And here we have a dead iguana.
So I guess I should be getting a lawyer.
I am not allowed to make any legal advice whatsoever in that sense.
11:21, you can cancel proper code.
Crazy. All right. Not much I can do at this point.
7115 reckless driver southbound from the 110 mile marker. 3-minute time delay. Silver passenger car.
Watch your step.
7115 District 7 silver passenger car. Unknown tag. Possibly in toss. RP was in front of it and the black F-150 was unable to maintain lane. Silver passenger car southbound from the 110. 5-minute time delay.
She said she knew
Pressure
it.
3 to 5-minute time delay.
Okay.
She said, man, for, yeah.
I'm telling them.
7115 holding an assist citizen.
And I've talked to Paul, talked to her great lengths.
Both units at 2300 holding an assist citizen for 7115.
And I'll be honest, there's a problem with that. Paula said the one that was attacking her, she knows was the other suspect there she knows nothing about.
No, she told me, man, it was a curly-haired white guy.
She never saw him.
I'm just telling you what she told me.
Right, she never saw him. She says that came from Todd. However, after talking to Todd, it turns out Todd was much further away.
I'm just saying that. Okay.
Nope, absolutely, man. Happy to answer.
I felt bad for her, man. I thought last night was tight, man. Now it's getting worse, and man,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's way worse. And now we've enhanced our videos, so we are very good there. Yeah, I've got him too. Put your stuff in.
I mean, I didn't do it.
Okay. Oh, and also we have more people putting you in sneakers, tennis shoes that are black and gray.
I don't have to sneakers that are black and gray.
No, except for the ones that were at the house.
No.
I know you said they're not yours, and hey,
I have him. There's boots and these shoes, man. That's the only time there's the only things anybody's ever seen.
good. What the heck? You see this?
I guess I'm just saying.
You see how rude he is? He just takes whatever one he wants.
I didn't do this.
What? I can't get the lock.
So now I have to put mine in there?
We might push in, but I can't get the lock. You can use mine. It's all locked. We can share.
We can share boxes.
See?
Yeah, that's right. You know what?
We can share water and everything. Gotta push it. Well,
You know, I haven't slept in a very long time.
Neither have I.
I believe it. You'll still be able to sleep here.
Yeah.
Traffic Florida, go ahead.
What's that?
Camouflage?
I do believe so. I've caught it.
Stand up on it. We're okay to walk. You got anything on it?
Drug tempting to get by medical before you get them out of here. Medical, that one's good by your.
Needs his clothes.
Place your hands on the wall while I take the cuff off, okay?
Maybe we also get his clothes then.
Possible DAV, turn stolen vehicle, Kemp Channel Bridge, RP's on scene to meet in a red Cadillac.
I like being a flush.
Have a seat. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Was it 10, 10 and a half?
Take your shoes off.
7215, so guys.
I'll take the bracelet for you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rick. Your rooms.
Yes, please.
Can you contact records and intake?
Take your jacket off. Open your mouth. Keep your tongue. Tuck it.
Thank you.
Put the shoes on.
I need
Highway
sleep.
portion at the 57 and 2005.
I do like warming up to Christmas. Every time you think you're gonna get it. Hey, it's almost Thanksgiving now, isn't it? Yeah.
I will count that.
Did you hear that one police officer? This person told this person, we've had a lot of people that told us this and that, this and that. And I want to find out about the DNA. Because you think somebody, if they get cut by their neck, don't you think they bleed pretty bad, huh?
Well, sure.
And yes, hey Snooky, yes, I seen it today. I'm like, hell. And I came across this trial on accident. Not on here, but I was looking for something, not another trial, but I can't remember what. They can say anything they want. So you got Travis, you got April, you got Amber, you have Roy, and many, many, many others. I know this man is out on a $2 million bond right now.
He's out.
Yeah.
Where'd he get that kind of money?
Well, he owns something. He owns a when I grew up, I wanted to live in a tree house. He owns a business. Let me find out what the name of it is. Hold on. I'll bring it up. All right. Okay, let me look at this. Trying to find it. I'm sorry. So he has a possible civil lawsuit. They are co-founders of CrossFit. Here, hold on.
What, a fitness
They own
center?
They own a business called CrossFit. Here. Him and his wife. But I think they're getting divorced. Okay. They're co-founders of CrossFit.
Oh, so they build the tree houses that he's living in. Is that correct?
No. Ah! Why'd that happen? That was weird. That was weird. It's a fitness thing.
Wow,
It's like
I would
a
think he
gym.
would be more fit.
It's like a gym.
He didn't look very fit to me.
Hold on. Oh, she's pretty.
Yeah, that
Grandma,
makes sense, CrossFit.
have you heard of CrossFit in Florida? So yeah, he got out on a $2 million bond, and he's on house arrest. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna try to find that company. Is it?
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Oh, Lordy. So what do you guys think of this case so far?
It's crazy, and there's a lot of corruption going on and a lot of lying and manipulation by the police that I can see. It's pretty obvious to me that they're trying to hang up certain people.
Well, and how would the cop know about that $100 bill? Like the barcode?
I don't know. I agree with Graham. It sounds all like this is all set up and they're trying to put the person they want in jail for it all to go away.
Just like they did with that detective.
Well, just like they did with that girl in what's her name? Michelle Lawless case. That one that the Lawless files covering from I think it was 1980 or 95 or something. That case, and they put the guy in prison, and he sat in prison for 16 years. He just got out.
Oh, wow.
And that's exactly what was going on. The cops were talking to all these people. They were reducing people's bail. They were doing all kinds of stuff. It all came out what they were doing to put this guy in jail. And he spent 16 years in jail before they finally got him out because they wrongfully convicted him.
Right.
They just wanted it to go away.
Yeah. Hey, Grandma. Today, remember we were watching his hearing today, and he was waiting for that video to download because remember he talked about hot mic.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
I bet you it's all this shit that he's making a fuss about.
I'm
the
sure.
DA. Yep, it all makes sense now. Because he's got proof. He's got body cam. He has it all.
Jennifer,
oh, let me see.
I'm not positive, but I think it's Ty. Because where's Ty now? But
Crazy.
then maybe Rory had something to do with getting Ty in there, or maybe he knew something because Frank was yelling at him, was yelling at Rory. Correct?
Correct.
Well, they both know something. But
Well-
I don't think it was that guy that they just arrested, because all
It's
that
not
stuff
Frank
is-
because Frank was the one who's saying you killed him.
Right.
We got 44-page documents, and they're all the police reports. 44 pages.
So that'll tell you everybody's name, who was involved, who
Yep.
said what.
Yep. Even all the informants. Could you imagine going to prison, or, you know, I don't know when he got out of jail, but I know they kept him in jail since 2017. What was my thought now?
Well, like I said, Kit, that Michelle Lawless case, they had all these people. You wouldn't believe the people. They reduced their bonds. They let them out, all these informants, and they told them. I mean, it's already came out the truth on that case, that they told them to say this guy did it. The cops.
Why?
Because it meets their narrative and they can wrap things up.
Well, and because the people that they believe did do it are involved with some illegal stuff, allegedly, I'm going to say. But
yeah,
if you read that case, it's crazy. The people have come out and admitted that the police they told him, we'll reduce your bond or we'll let you out, and all kinds of stuff. If you just say this guy did it, he admitted doing it. And they arrested him, and the guy spent 16 years in prison. That's not a joke. He's writing a book about it right now. It's Michelle Lawless something. The book just came out.
Oh, it did?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Because the guy that did the 16 years wrote the book.
Oh, Bob didn't write the book.
No, Bob just still talks with the man and gets his story out there, but the man himself wrote the book about his experience in prison and the thoughts he had and everything that happened.
Oh, look who's here. Dan! Dan! Where have you been?
He's been in a treehouse.
Have you been in that tree house? Yes, he was on the $700. What?
Yeah, that guy that wrote the book was on that on the 700 Club.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That was just recently.
Dan.
I mean, that case is nuts. How many people they were letting out of jail and reducing their bonds and everything just to say that man did it, and he didn't do it. And the cops and the sheriff. I mean, there were so many people involved in that case. And this one sounds just like it to me.
This crap is happening everywhere, every day. We just don't hear about a lot of it. But yeah, they want to be done with these cases and wrap them all up and, you know, call it good, move on.
Okay, I want to watch 2 more clips and that's it. This is Travis that they were just talking about, 7 minutes long. And the guy that I told you that said, can I go home if I say it's Tyrone? Okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what they would do to them people. In that other case I'm telling you about. Crazy. All right.
Okay, here is Travis.
For the property. Matt's too old.
What is the treehouse?
The place across from CVS.
Okay, I've heard
Okay.
about the crack den.
Yep, the crack den.
Okay.
You know where it is.
Yeah.
And you know the kind of people that are hanging out the crack den.
No, I don't. I've never been in there.
Yep, and I believe that.
Never been over there. Like, I don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think here's what happened. They get a little bit of money. And a little bit of money on Stock Island is 100. A lot of money on Stock Island is 1,000. And there's word on the street that $1,000 has changed hands. So Paul at the treehouse got $1,000. And I think there's discussion, there's a plan. Let's go and get the $1,000, the crackheads. We'll go in, we'll make it quick, we'll come out, no one will know us, we'll make sure that we got masks, we'll make sure nobody knows it's us. They don't need the $1,000 to smoke up crack, we need the $1,000 to live. We'll do right with the money, we'll do right by all of us in the place on 2nd Street. And let's make this fast and easy. And I know you are part of the plan. Now I also know, hear me carefully, Travis, I also know that that plan never included hurting anyone at all. Because had there been discussion and he talks about hurting someone, you never would have participated. Because you're not that guy. You're not that guy that's going to sit down at a table with people and say, yeah, let's go beat somebody up. Let's go rape somebody. Let's go rob somebody. Let's go kill somebody. That's not you. You're a guy who's trying to survive. That's you, Travis. Now, could I hear you? Could I see you saying, let's go get some money to make life a little bit easier for us? Yep. Because that's the kind of guy you are. You're struggling. I get it. You lost all your tools. You lost all your cooking supplies. The place that you're living is mold infested. Your mattress got wet. It's hard. And you're struggling. And there's this, let's go get a little bit of money to make life a little bit easier. And you didn't go into the treehouse. You didn't. But you drove them there. You drove them there, Travis. We got your truck on video. The camera right where you parked it. When you pulled off Laurel Avenue and parked your truck, and Detroit and Ty got out of that truck, all 3 of you are on a camera video. Now you did the right thing because you dropped him off and then you got the hell out of there. You're gone. You don't know what they did in the treehouse. You don't know about it until after. The plan